Let's take a closer look at some of the structures associated with the long bone. So remember with the long bone, we said that it tends to be longer than it is wide, but it has these enlarged ends on either end of it. So this picture right here is a drawing of a femur, which is the thigh bone. So this long bone, the diaphysis, is this long skinny part in the middle of the long bone. It's hollow on the inside, and it's surrounded by compact bone. Now, the hollow space inside the diaphysis is filled with yellow marrow, and it's called the medullary cavity. And yellow marrow is it's a fat that is being stored in your bones. So it's storing energy for you in your bones. On the inner and outer surfaces of the long bone, you have some connective tissue. So lining the inside of the medullary cavity, you have the endosteum. And then on the surface, kind of the superficial surface or the outer surface of the diaphysis, you have the periosteum. And the main function of the periosteum is it helps to hold blood vessels, nerves, and lymph vessels and nodes up against the bone. Tendons and ligaments also attach to the periosteum. So a tendon is a structure that connects a muscle to a bone. And so it's a fibrous connective tissue that extends out of the muscle and it fuses with the periosteum. A ligament is a structure that connects a bone to another bone. So the connective tissue fibers from the periosteum of one bone extend beyond the bone to fuse with the periosteum, the connective tissue fibers of the periosteum of the second bone, and that helps to connect one bone to another bone. The epiphyses are the enlarged areas on either end of the diaphysis. So you've got two epiphyses, and singular is called the epiphysis. So you've got one epiphysis here and one epiphysis down here. Now the epiphysis is still covered with compact bone tissue, but the inside of it has spongy bone tissue. Now remember that the spaces within the trabeculae of the spongy bone is where red marrow is found. Also on the end of each epiphysis, there is a kind of a sheet of cartilage called the articular cartilage. And an articulation is just where one bone meets up with another bone. So more commonly, we call an articulation a joint. So this cartilage is found on the ends of bones that are going to be involved in making a type of joint with another bone. So it covers the outside of the epiphysis, it helps to reduce friction because it's a little bit slippery, and it's also a little squishy, so it acts as a shock absorber in the joints to keep it keeps your bones from rubbing against each other and from damaging each other. Now, over time, that cartilage does wear down, and that's why as people get older, they get osteoarthritis. And osteoarthritis occurs when that articular cartilage is worn down and the protective function is no longer there. Now, flat bones are a lot simpler than compact bones. I like to think of them as a spongy bone sandwich. So in a flat bone, such as the bones in the cranium or the part of the skull that kind of covers the brain, you have a layer of compact bone on either side, and then you've got the spongy bone in the middle. And once again, that spongy bone would also hold red bone marrow.